The silence inside the alien ship was heavy, like a thick fog around Marcus's skin. His boots echoed softly as he walked down the long metal hallway. The walls were smooth and black, with strange glowing lines running like veins. He had never seen a ship like this before. Old, yes, maybe thousands of years, but still alive somehow. Still humming deep beneath the floor. Marcus was a repair tech, a human from Earth. He didn't believe in ghosts, he believed in wires, circuits, and systems that could be fixed. But this ship gave him chills. It had sent a signal from deep space, a distress call in an ancient alien language, and the company sent him alone to check it out. Quick scan, quick patch, and back, they had said. They didn't mention the silence or the cold, or the strange feeling that something was watching. He reached the control room, a round chamber with a high ceiling and a single pulsing light in the center. Wires hung from above like metal vines, and there, in the corner, he froze. A figure sat in the dark, chained to the wall. Her skin was silver blue, her eyes glowing faintly. She looked up as he entered, not with anger, not with fear, but with deep sadness. "Don't pull it," she said softly, her voice broken and rough. "Please, don't pull it." Marcus stepped closer, confused. She was thin, weak, covered in dust and scars. Alien, yes, but not threatening. "What are you talking about?" he asked, looking around. Then he saw it. A thick glowing cord ran from the center light to the wall behind her. It was connected to a crystal node. Half buried in the floor, his scanner beeped. Reading high energy levels, it looked like power control. Maybe the ship's main fuse. If he disconnected it, the whole place might shut down. Maybe that was the goal. Maybe that was why he was sent. He reached out to inspect it, her eyes widened in horror. "No!" she cried, struggling against her chains. "You don't understand, that cord. It holds something back." Marcus paused, hand inches from the cord. "What do you mean?" He asked him what's being held. She looked at him, tears rising in her eyes. "My family, my blood, my people's pain. This ship drinks from it, remembers through it. If you pull it, it will remember everything. And it will wake up." He shook his head, trying to stay logical. "She's delusional," he whispered to himself. But his fingers trembled anyway. Something deep inside him, some ancient fear, was whispering too. "Why are you chained?" He asked. "Why are you here?" "I am dirty heritage," and she said bitterly. "A cursed bloodline born from the war machines. My kind was used to power ships like this. Our memories were stored in cords like that. The moment you pull it, you will become part of it." He looked at the cord again. It pulsed like a heartbeat, slow and steady, like it was waiting. A voice came from his comm, crackling with static. "Status report, Marcus. Do you see the core?" He reached up to answer, but his hand didn't move. He was staring at the cord, at the woman, at the walls that seemed to grow darker around him. "Please," she said again, voice shaking. "Don't pull it, human. You don't know what it's guarding. You don't know what it will show you." But curiosity was a powerful thing. Stronger than fear, stronger than orders, stronger than warnings whispered in the dark. Marcus grabbed the cord and pulled. There was no explosion, no scream, no flash of light. Just silence then. The ship groaned, the floor shook gently. A deep sound like a beast waking from a long dream echoed through the walls. The lights turned red, and Marcus suddenly fell to his knees, gripping his head. Images flooded his mind. Flames, war, metal beasts tearing planets apart. Aliens screaming, children crying, cities falling. He saw it all, not like a movie, but like a memory. Like he was there, like he had done it. His own voice screamed in the visions, giving commands to destroy. His hands, alien hands, fired weapons he didn't understand, and behind it all, a voice whispered, "Welcome back, Commander." His eyes snapped open, sweat dripping down his face. The alien woman was silent now, just staring at him. "You pulled it," she said coldly. "And now you know," Marcus tried to speak, but his throat was dry. He looked down at his hands, shaking. He wasn't sure if he was still himself. He wasn't sure if he was still human. His blood had run cold and deep in the ship. Something ancient had opened its eyes. Marcus lay on the cold floor of the alien ship, his breath shallow, his vision blurred, heart racing. The images were still in his head. Fire, war, screams. They weren't dreams. They were memories, but not his own, or were they? The alien woman watched him silently, her chains rattling as she shifted. He looked up at her with fear in his eyes. "What did I see?" he asked, voice weak. "What was that?" She didn't answer right away. Instead, she closed her eyes as if listening to something far away. Then she spoke slowly. "You saw the blood memory." "The what?" Marcus whispered, still trembling. It's not just a power cord. Human, she said. It's a root, a living record of everything this ship ever did. It connects to the souls of the ones it once obeyed, and now, it connects to you. That's impossible, he said. Trying to sit up. I'm just a tech, I fix broken things. I'm not part of this. She tilted her head, her voice suddenly cold. Then why did the ship call you Commander? He froze. She was right. That voice in his head, it had welcomed him back, had called him Commander, but how could that be? He pulled out his scanner and aimed it at the cord. The readings were off the scale. Energy, data, biosignals all mixed together. Like the cord was alive, like it had intelligence. His scanner beeped and shut down, unable to process it. This doesn't make sense, he muttered. The woman laughed quietly, not with joy, but pain. Nothing makes sense when you play with ancient things, she said. My people learned that too late, Marcus stood. Finally steady on his feet, he looked around. The control room lights now glowing a deep red. It felt like the ship was awake, like it was breathing. I need answers, he said. Who are you? And what happened here? She looked at him, tired and calm. My name is Vera, she said. My ancestors were born during the last days of the Core War. We were not soldiers, not leaders. We were bred. Designed just to remember. Remember what? Marcus asked. Pain, she whispered. The empire that built this ship needed memory fuel. Living creatures whose trauma could power their machines. So they made us the dirty heritage. They fed us war, death, fire. They tied our minds to cords like this one. Every scream, every death, every betrayal stored forever. Marcus felt sick. That's what he had seen in the visions. Not just war, but the feeling of being used, broken over and over. But why me? He asked. I don't have their DNA, I'm human. She frowned, thinking. You said you're a tech, yes? Maybe your blood is not the same, but your role, your mind, it's similar. Machines trust you, you fix them. Maybe the ship thinks you're one of its old masters. Marcus shook his head. This is insane, he said. But deep down he knew there was more to it. He had always been drawn to machines ever since childhood. He could feel their rhythm, sense their pulse. Could this connection run deeper than he ever imagined? Suddenly the lights flickered. A new doorway opened in the wall behind them, Vera gasped. That wasn't there before. Marcus stared at the dark hallway, now revealed. The air coming from it felt heavier, warmer like breath. Then came a voice, not in the air, but inside his mind. Memory recognized. Access granted, he looked at Vera. Do you trust me? He asked. She gave a tired smile. You pulled the cord, didn't you? Now you don't get to walk away. Together, they stepped into the hallway. The walls pulsed with light as they walked. Like veins in a body, strange symbols glowed and shifted. Following their steps, what is this place? Marcus asked. Vera replied. The ship's heart. Maybe its mind. We are inside its thoughts now. They entered a round chamber filled with floating memory crystals. Each one showed a different scene. One showed children running from falling fire. Another showed a great beast chained and burning. Another showed a group of humans in uniforms, smiling. Giving orders, Marcus stepped closer to one. It glowed bright and pulled him in. He saw himself, but not himself. A man who looked like him, older. With cold eyes and a silver glove, he was standing on a battlefield. Commanding alien troops, Marcus gasped and pulled back. That's not me, he said. That can't be me. Vera looked at him with sorrow. It may not be your body, but the ship sees your spirit, your intent. It thinks you're him, the ship's voice returned. Loud and clear this time. Welcome, Commander. Project memory link complete. New host accepted. Marcus fell to his knees again. What is it doing to me? He shouted. Vera touched his shoulder gently. You are part of it now, and it is part of you. Marcus's head throbbed as the strange voice faded. His body felt heavy, like gravity itself was trying to pull him down. Every time he blinked, flashes of the alien war played in his mind. Cities burning, armies falling, machines crying like beasts. And through it all, the same face, his own, but colder. Crueler, older. It wasn't possible, it couldn't be real. But the ship kept whispering that it was. Vera stood beside him, her silver blue skin trembling under the flickering red lights. Her chains were gone now, melted when the cord had awakened. But she didn't run. She watched him carefully. Do you understand now? She asked softly. This ship doesn't need power, it needs guilt. It feeds on what was done here, and now it feeds on you too. Marcus rubbed his face. He felt sick. I didn't do anything, he said. I'm not that man. Vera shook her head slowly. It doesn't matter what you believe. The ship sees through bloodlines, memories, and souls. It has mistaken you for its old master, and it will never let you go, he wanted to argue, to deny it. But deep down, he could feel something new inside him. A pulse that wasn't his, a rhythm in his veins that beat with the ship's heartbeat. He could feel the walls around him breathing in sync with his own breath. He was connected, linked somehow, cursed maybe. Why do they call you dirty heritage? He asked quietly. Vera looked away. Her hands clenched, her voice shaking as she spoke. Because my people were born to remember sins that weren't ours. We were created by mixing bloodlines, part machine, part organic, part something else. The pure races hated us. Said our existence was filthy, but the ship couldn't survive without us. She touched one of the glowing walls. It pulsed under her palm like living skin. Our memories became its fuel, our pain its command code. That is the curse of the dirty heritage. We remember everything, even the things that should have died long ago. Marcus stared at her. Her words hit him like a blade of truth. So this ship wasn't just metal. It was a graveyard of memories, and now he was part of it too, so... If I'm linked to this thing, he asked, can I stop it? She gave a faint, bitter smile. You can't stop a curse by denying it, you have to face it. You have to live through it. Before he could reply, the ship's lights flickered again. The walls twisted and reshaped into sharp angles, and a voice boomed around them. Unauthorized link detected. Correction in progress. Vera's eyes widened. No, it's trying to fix you by rewriting you. Marcus gasped as pain shot through his body. He could feel something crawling under his skin, like his veins were turning into wires. He fell to his knees, gripping his chest. Make it stop, he shouted. Vera rushed to him, grabbing his arm. Focus on me, human. Not on the voice the ship listens to thought. It listens to will if you let it inside your mind. It will take everything. He forced his eyes open, focusing on her voice. It was calm, strong and real. Slowly, the pain began to fade. The voice in his head went quiet. The ship seemed to retreat, like a tide pulling back from shore. Marcus looked up, gasping for air. What just happened? You pushed it back, Vera said, amazed. No one has ever done that before. Not even my kind, he laughed weakly. I'm full of surprises. But inside, he knew the truth. He hadn't pushed it back, he had absorbed it. He could feel new knowledge crawling through his brain. Blueprints, systems, alien codes. He understood the ship now, at least a little. Enough to know that it was alive and lonely. It wanted a master, a connection, a mind to follow, and it had chosen him. Suddenly the floor beneath them shifted, opening a glowing path. At the end of it, they could see a tall door made of glass and light. Strange symbols floated around it like mist. The ship wants us to go there, Marcus said. Vera shook her head. It's leading you to the heart. That's where the curse began, and where it will try to make you its master. Marcus stepped forward anyway. He couldn't stop now. He needed to know what this ship wanted. He needed to know who that other version of him was, and why fate kept pulling him into alien nightmares. They reached the door. It opened without a sound. Inside was a massive chamber filled with glowing tubes. Each tube held a figure, alien, human, machine, all connected by cords. Their eyes were closed, their faces peaceful. But Vera trembled as she saw them. My ancestors, she whispered, they were never freed. They're still here. Marcus stepped closer to one of the tubes. He saw a young alien child sleeping inside. Her small hand pressed against the glass, and for a moment, he saw her open her eyes and look right at him. She mouthed one word, help. The ship's voice returned. Deeper now. One command remains, Commander. Finish what you started. Marcus felt the floor pulse beneath his feet. He looked at Vera, who shook her head desperately. Don't listen to it, that's how the curse spreads. That's how it owns you. But Marcus couldn't ignore it because deep inside him, another voice whispered, not the ship's, not Vera's, his own, and it said something terrifying. Maybe I already did. The glass chamber door closed behind them without a sound. Marcus and Vera stood still, their eyes locked on the strange glowing tubes around them. Some held aliens with silver skin. Others showed strange part-machine beings, some even looked human, but all were frozen in place, breathing slowly. Trapped inside the ship's memory, Marcus felt the weight of the air. It was thick, like it carried the souls of the past. The ship was not just showing them history, it was waiting. For what he didn't know, but something told him this was a test. A trial of the soul, what is this place? Marcus asked quietly. Vera's voice was barely a whisper. The Hall of Judgment when the war ended. The ship was told to choose who was worthy, who would be saved, who would be punished. It was never shut down. It kept judging. For thousands of years, Marcus stepped forward, drawn to the glowing floor ahead. A circle of light opened beneath his feet suddenly. Beams shot out of the walls and scanned his body. Then, his memories began to appear in the air, like smoke turning into light. He saw himself as a child alone, fixing broken toys, hiding in quiet corners, then older, working in repair shops, helping others, never asking for more. Then, his darkest moment, screaming at his son's empty bed. After the accident, tears falling, hands shaking. I should have been there, he whispered. I failed him. Vera turned away, giving him privacy, but Marcus didn't care. The ship was digging into his past, and showing it like a movie. He stood in silence, watching his own life play out before him. Then the memories stopped, and the voice returned. Subject Marcus Reed. Compassion detected, guilt acknowledged. Partial redemption possible. Marcus blinked in shock. What does that mean? He asked aloud, but the ship ignored him. Vera stepped into her own circle, and now her memories began to show. A young Vera held down by machines, wires forced into her skin, soldiers laughing as her screams echoed through metal walls, her mother crying silently in a cage, then Vera older, escaping, hiding among ruins, until she was captured again and locked in this very ship. Marcus turned his face away, ashamed. He had seen war in the memories before. But this was slavery, cruelty, something far worse. And it had been done in the name of survival. In the name of power, the ship scanned her too. And the voice spoke again. Subject Vera. Genetic corruption detected, pain absorbed. Judgment indeterminate. Vera looked down. Her fists clenched. I'm not surprised, she said coldly. The ship never decided what we were, tools or people. Suddenly, the floor shifted again and the light dimmed. A platform rose from the center of the room. On it stood a tall machine figure, made of polished black steel and pulsing blue lights. Its face was smooth, with no eyes, no mouth. But when it turned toward them, Marcus felt as if it could see everything. The judge, Vera whispered. It watches the trials. It makes the final call. The judge raised a hand and spoke, not with a voice, but directly into their minds. The link has changed the balance. One human soul has merged with command protocols. One cursed memory remains undecided. Marcus stepped forward. What do you want from us? He shouted. I didn't come here to be judged. I came to fix a ship. You fixed nothing, the judge replied. You opened the wound, you woke the blood. Now the sentence must fall. The walls began to crackle with energy. Vera stepped beside Marcus, eyes wide. It's going to choose for both of us. Marcus grabbed her hand without thinking. We're not enemies, he said. Whatever this ship believes, we can fight it together. The judge paused, energy flowing around its body. Then the lights dimmed, and a new image appeared in the air. It showed Marcus's face again, but overlaid with the older warlord's face. Two images flickering like a ghost in its reflection. Then, it showed Vera, her image overlaid with the machine-wired children from the tubes, bound by cords, glowing eyes full of pain. Stop it, Marcus growled. I'm not that man. And she's not some machine. We are alive, right here. Right now. The judge seemed to pause. Then something strange happened. Its body pulsed once, and part of it flickered like a corrupted file. Vera gasped. You're changing it, Marcus focused. Heart pounding. I'm not part of your old war, he said to the judge. And I won't carry its sins. Let us go. Let the others go too. A long silence followed. Then the judge raised both arms, and the floor cracked open beneath the glowing tubes. Streams of light shot up, surrounding the frozen bodies one by one. The figures inside the tubes began to vanish into the light. The ship whispered again. Judgment suspended. Awaiting new command, Marcus turned to Vera. She looked shocked but hopeful. You broke the pattern, she whispered. No one ever passed the judgment. He stared at the empty chamber, his heart still heavy but clear. I didn't pass, he said. I just refused to fail. The Hall of Judgment was quiet now. The glowing tubes had vanished. The judge had faded back into the walls, and yet something heavy still hung in the air. Like the silence before a storm, Marcus stood beside Vera, his chest rising and falling slowly. The ship was calm but not at peace. Its whispers had stopped. but its heartbeat still throbbed beneath their feet. Soft, steady, watching, Vera turned to him, her voice low. You did something no one else ever did. You made the ship pause. Marcus gave a weak smile. Yeah, well, I didn't sign up for any of this. I just came to fix a broken machine. Vera looked away, her face unreadable. And maybe you are that man, she said softly. Maybe that's the problem, he frowned. What do you mean? She didn't answer, not right away. Instead, she walked toward a side corridor that had just appeared. The ship was opening new paths for them, leading them deeper, closer to its core. Come, Vera said, her voice sharp now. There's something you need to see. They walked together through the corridor. The walls now showed moving images, not just memories, but recorded commands. Old war orders delivered in a human voice. Marcus's eyes widened. It was the same voice he had heard in the visions. The warlord's voice, cold and commanding. Engage burn sequence, it said. Purge the lower bloodline. Seal the dirty heritage containment. Marcus stopped walking. Feeling sick, Vera stood beside him, arms crossed tightly. That's the voice of your kind, she said. The one who gave the orders. He didn't just fight the war. He built the system. He created us, then ordered our destruction. Marcus turned toward her, his mouth dry. I'm not him. Vera, he said firmly. I don't know who he was, but I'm not. She held up her hand. No, she said. You don't get to say that yet. Not until you see everything. The corridor opened into a circular room. In the center stood a tall black pillar. Floating just above it was a hologram of a human face. Stern. Gray-haired, wearing a long coat. Marcus's heart dropped. It was him. His own face, only older, colder. Scarred by time and power, Vera walked up to the pillar. Touching the base, the hologram spoke. Commander Marcus Virex, primary architect of Project Bloodnet. Biological signature match 96%. Marcus stumbled back. No, that's not me. My name is Marcus Reed. I'm from Earth. I fix systems. I don't build nightmares. Vera's eyes burned. But the ship knows your blood. It sees your soul. You may not remember, but some part of you is connected to him. Marcus's head spun. Thoughts raced through his mind. How could this be? Was he a clone? A descendant? Was his name a lie planted long ago? He gripped the pillar, his hands shaking. The ship whispered again, deeper now, closer. You carry the key, the code, the blood. You can command or destroy. Vera stared at him with new eyes. Not of a friend, not of a guide, but of someone betrayed. You told me you were just a tech, she said. That you didn't know. But you do, I didn't lie, Marcus said quickly. I didn't know. I never knew this face or this voice, or this history. But your blood did, she said coldly. And the ship remembers. Marcus stepped back. Pain building in his chest. Everything was crashing down. He wasn't just a visitor to this ship. He was part of its past. And that past had hurt her. Had hurt millions like her. I didn't ask for this, he whispered. I never wanted to be anyone's master. Vera turned away, her voice shaking. You wanted to pull the cord. You chose curiosity over warning. Now we're both bound by your mistake. Suddenly, the room began to tremble. Warning lights flashed. A new message appeared in the air. Core lock disengaged, command authority verified. Last directive available. A glowing panel rose from the ground. It showed 3 options. Reactivate control network. Return the ship to full power and take command. 2. Cleanse heritage bonds. Erase all memory cords and disconnect the linked minds. 3. Initiate final mercy. Destroy the ship. And everyone's still connected to it. Marcus stared at the panel, frozen. Each option held a price. Each one could hurt someone or everyone. Vera stepped beside him, her voice low. Don't choose yet, she said. If you still believe you're not him, prove it. Choose with your heart, not your blood. Marcus looked at the panel, his reflection floating in the glowing glass. One choice would save her people. One would erase them. One would bring power he didn't want, but whatever he chose, there would be no going back, and all around them. The ship waited in silence, for the human to choose between truth and the lie he never knew he carried. Marcus stood frozen, his reflection staring back at him from the glowing panel. 3 choices, 3 paths, each one pulsing with quiet power, each one waiting for his touch. Behind him, the ship hummed softly, almost like it was breathing. Vera stood still, her arms crossed, eyes fixed on the options. There was no noise now, no voice from the ship, only silence, heavy and cold. The ship had stopped guiding him. It had given him control now. He had to decide. Reactivate control network. Cleanse heritage bonds, initiate final mercy. Why does it always come down to one person? Marcus whispered, "I'm no leader." Vera's voice came from behind him, calm but sharp. "You're not just a person anymore. You're the key the ship recognizes, whether you like it or not." He turned to her slowly. "You really think I'm him? The warlord? The one who built this nightmare?" She didn't blink. "I don't know, but I know this. If you choose wrong, you'll become him." Marcus looked back at the glowing choices. Each one flickered as if reacting to his thoughts. The first choice, reactivate control network. That would give him total control. He could steer the ship, command its power, maybe even use it to undo the damage done. But that also meant the ship would see him as its master again. It would obey without question, and obedience like that was dangerous. The second choice, cleanse heritage bonds, this one would cut all memory cords. Free Vera's people from the ship's mind, but doing so would also erase all stored knowledge, all history, and those still trapped inside might vanish forever. Then the third, initiate final mercy. Destroy the ship completely, end the curse, free all souls, and wipe it from existence, but it would kill them too. Marcus and Vera, both still connected, both still part of the system. He stepped back, shaking his head. There's no good answer. No safe path. Vera came closer now, her voice softer. There's never a safe path when the past is still bleeding. But you must choose, because if you don't, the ship will choose for you. Suddenly, the floor beneath them rumbled. The ship's voice returned, not cold, not loud, but almost like a whisper in a dream. Time limited, decision required, stability failing. The walls flickered, showing visions of other parts of the ship. Cracks spreading, systems melting, light fading. The ship was dying, and it wanted to take someone with it. Marcus looked up at the ceiling, as if it could hear him. "You want a commander?" he said. "Fine, then hear this. No one else dies for your memory." He turned to Vera, eyes full of fire. "If I choose the first, I become the thing you hate. If I choose the second, I erase everything, including your people's truth. And if I choose the third, we both die." She nodded slowly. "But death isn't always the worst thing. Sometimes silence is kinder than chains." Then she stepped forward, surprising him. She reached into her chest, between her ribs, and pulled out a glowing shard, a memory crystal pulsing with soft light. She placed it in his hand. "My final memory," she said. "If we die, let this be the one thing that survives." He stared at the crystal. It was warm and somehow alive. It showed a vision of her as a child, holding her mother's hand, smiling in a field of glowing flowers. Before the war, before the chains, before the curse, Marcus felt tears rise in his eyes. "I won't let that be erased," he whispered. He stepped back toward the panel, but before he could choose, the ship suddenly shifted. A wall opened behind them, revealing one final chamber. Inside were 3 cords hanging from the ceiling, each glowing a different color. "Red, white, and gold," the ship whispered again. "Manual override enabled. 3 cords, 3 futures. Pull one." Marcus looked at Vera. She looked back, eyes wide. "No one's ever reached this point," she said. This must be the true choice." They stepped into the chamber. The red cord pulsed with power. It radiated control. The white cord hummed with stillness, pure, cold silence. The gold cord shimmered with warmth, flickering. Uncertain but alive, Marcus stood before them. His hand hovered between them. His heart pounded like thunder in his chest. Then he closed his eyes and whispered, "I choose not as a commander, not as a tech, but as a human," and he pulled the gold cord. Everything went silent, no lights, no voice, no movement. Then a low hum, a soft glow, and the ship spoke one last time. Judgment bypassed, heart recognized, redemption accepted. The cords vanished. The panels dissolved, and Vera looked at Marcus with awe. "You did it," she whispered. "You chose the path that wasn't written." Marcus dropped the crystal on the floor. It floated in the air. Spinning slowly, a door opened ahead, glowing brighter than the sun, but before they could walk through, the ship gave one final message. One life must remain. One must carry the memory. Marcus looked at Vera. Vera looked at him. One had to stay. One had to leave. The golden light bathed them in silence. Soft, warm, endless. The chamber around them faded, and only 2 souls remained. Marcus and Vera standing before the ship's final door. The ship's voice echoed gently. Not as a command, not as a threat, but like a whisper from something old and tired. One life must remain, it said. One must carry the memory. Marcus felt his breath catch. He understood now the golden cord had not been an escape. It was a bridge. A way forward, but only for one. The ship could not erase the past. It could only pass it on. Someone had to stay behind. Connected, remembering, so the others, those trapped in memory, in silence, could finally be freed. Vera turned to him, her eyes were soft now. No longer filled with anger or pain, but something else, peace and sorrow. "I'll stay," she said quietly. "This ship was built on the backs of my people. It's only right that I be the one to carry what's left." Marcus stepped forward and shook his head. "No," he said, voice firm. "You've already carried it too long. This curse wasn't your fault, none of it was, but it wasn't yours either," she said. "You were born far from this war, this pain. You were never meant to be part of this." He looked at the floating memory crystal, the one she had given him. It still shimmered, showing her childhood. Her hope, her heart. That crystal was a key, a message to the future, and it couldn't stay here. It had to go where others could see it. Learn from it, heal from it. Marcus took a deep breath. "I'm not just a repair tech anymore," he said. "I was chosen maybe by blood, maybe by fate. But I was brought here for a reason." Vera stepped closer. "You'll be alone," she whispered. "This ship will never fly again. You'll be the last voice inside it," he nodded. "I've been alone before, but this time, I'll have a purpose." He placed the crystal gently into her hands. "Take it, show it to your people, let them know they weren't forgotten." Tears formed in her eyes. Not of pain, but of something deeper. Respect. She didn't argue anymore. She just looked at him with quiet understanding. The golden door opened, revealing a path of light beyond it, freedom. "Stars, life," Marcus smiled. "Tell them about the dirty ship with the golden heart," he said. "And the fool who pulled the cord," Vera gave a soft laugh. She stepped toward the light, but just before crossing, she turned back. "Thank you, Marcus," she said. "You were never him, you were always you. That's what saved us," and then she was gone. The door closed behind her, and the ship grew still. Marcus looked around. The walls no longer pulsed with pain. The lights glowed gently. For the first time it felt quiet, truly quiet. He walked to the center of the chamber and sat down. There was no more war. No more screaming, only memory. The ship spoke again. Softer than ever, host accepted, conflict terminated, legacy preserved, then silence, true, deep, peaceful silence. Time passed differently inside the ship. Minutes became hours, hours became days. But Marcus didn't count anymore. He listened, he learned, he remembered. The ship showed him histories, songs, names of the fallen. The stories of Vera's people, the laughter before the war. The promises that were never kept, and Marcus kept them all. Not as a master, not as a commander, but as a witness. One day, far away, Vera stood on a new planet. She opened the crystal before her people, and it played a memory, a man's voice, calm and kind. "This is Marcus Reed," it said. "I wasn't born in your world, but I walked through its pain. I don't speak for the ones who built this ship, but I will carry what they did. So you don't have to." Tears flowed down alien faces, not of sadness, but of release. They had been seen, heard, honored, and the ship, it still floated in the dark corner of space, silent and golden, with one man inside, watching stars through cracked windows, waiting for the next soul who needed to be heard. He smiled softly to himself and whispered, "Please, don't pull the cord, not unless you're ready to carry the truth."